So I wanted to start off this video by saying I was right about a JoJo game coming out. I was just wrong with the date because honestly speaking, this is not a move that Bandai Namco is known for making. They are not known for remastering versions of old games, especially anime games. They just release it once, step back, and leave those games to the stains of time. So with this trailer, we saw a lot of things that we're already familiar with just now on PS4 and PS5, which again, amen to that because I'm kind of glad that they added that part 6 hype, starting off with the prison, having Jolene say some lines, showing more of Jolene gameplay than they usually would, and even ending it off by making Jolene the official thumbnail of this whole trailer situation. So I'm glad that they're feeding into the hype, but again, where is the rest of part 6? You know what, I'm not even gonna get into it. That's a different rant for a different day, but I'm more excited about the whole tag team feature that's been added into this game, which means most definitely we'll be getting tag team introductions and hopefully tag team finishes as well, which again, hell yeah, let me see some of that shit, even though I have most likely already seen it in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven. What I'm honestly hoping to see in this new remastered version of the game is new poses, new intros and outros, new costumes, just like the costumes in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven, and better graphics, of course, because again, this is a remastered version, but I'm hoping that they don't just upscale the resolution to like 4K and then call it a day. I also hope the gameplay is much more smoother and like with smoother controls, because like in the original All-Star Battle, it had like a very slow feeling to it, kind of like I don't know what game to compare it to aside from like Soul Calibur 2. It would be very fun if they could like make the game JoJo, but the movement as fast as like a Tekken game. Tekken 7, for example. Again, since both Bandai Namco. Time to get into the meat and potatoes of this video. So the trailer said that they were going to be adding 50 playable characters, meaning every single character in the original All-Star Battle, and 9 additional characters, judging by the stars in the picture that they showed. Best thing about the game coming out when it's coming out is that since now we're in this whole day and age of like DLC content, even though DLC stands for downloadable content. Anyways, in this era that we live in right now, what's nice is that when JoJo Part 9 comes out, we'll get more characters through DLC content. Now, Phantom Blood, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1. 4 characters. Jonathan Joestar, William Antonio Zeppeli, Dio Brando. New character, Robert Edward O. Speedwagon. Part 2, Battle Tendencies. 6 characters. Joseph Joestar, Caesar Zeppeli, Lisa, Cars, Wamu, and AC/DC. Part 3, Stardust Crusaders, 12 characters. Jotaro Kujo, Old Man Joseph Joestar, Kakyoi Noriaki, Jean-Pierre Polnareff, Muhammad Abdal, Iggy, Dio, Vanilla Ice, Whole Horse. New characters, Pet Shop, Mariah, and Enduo. Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, 9 characters. Josuke Higashikata, Okuyasu Nijimura, Koichi Hirose, Shigechio Yangu, Kira Yoshikage, Kawajiri Kosaki, Rohan Kishibe, Akira Otoishi. New character, Yukako Yamagishi. Part 5, Golden Wind, Vento Aora, 8 characters. Giorno Giovanna, Bruno Bucciarati, Guido Mista, Narancia Gira, Diavolo, Fugo Panacotta. Suspected new characters. Either it's Trish Una or Ghiaccio, because honestly speaking, White Album would work in an All-Star Battle game. Now, Part 6, Stone Ocean, 5 characters. Jolene Cujo, Hermes Costello, Enrico Pucci, Anasui, Weather Report. Part 7, Steel Ball Run, 4 characters. Johnny Joestar, Funny Valentine, Gyro Zeppeli. New character, the world! Diego Brando. Yes, the reason why I had to scream is because it's literally in all caps. Anyways, Part 8, Jajolian, 2 characters. Josuke Higashikata and Joshu Higashikata. But I'm suspecting that they'll either add Jobin Higashikata or Hatoi Higashikata. Oh my god, I cannot say Higashikata too many times, otherwise I end up fucking myself over. Anyways, there is going to be a special character included into the game, Bao from Araki Hirohiko's old work. Whether Bao will be added as a DLC again, like in the original All-Star Battle, is up to Bandai Namco, but they already have the model and the moveset, so for him, I'm 100% sure that they're going to add him as a character. They won't just throw him away. I'll consider him as either character 50 or character 51. And again, whether or not they include him in the original game or include him as a later on DLC, that is completely up to Bandai Namco. Now, I could be 100% wrong with the additional 9 characters, although I thought of popular characters with battle useful stands, because they won't add a character with just a useless utility stand. Like, that's the reason why they didn't add Abakio's Moody Blues. Now, most people will tell you that a lot of the characters that I listed already are existing characters in the Eyes of Heaven game, with quite literally only 3 new characters, including Bao. And reason being is Bandai Namco is known for not only recycling characters but movesets as well, especially for anime games. So it would be much cheaper for them to just take all of the Eyes of Heaven characters and then literally just smack them into All-Star Battle format. Quite honestly, as excited as I am, I wouldn't be surprised if they copy pasted the tag team ultimates as well. I am just praying that they add new tag teams. Like, imagine a Koichi and Jotaro tag team finisher. It could be exactly like against Kira Yoshikage. Echoes Act 3 plus time stop with a little mini speech right there. Especially if it's a finisher that would end in a KO. Like, you know how in the Naruto games they would have like those mini flashback cinematics whenever the finisher was a killing move? Imagine that, but with JoJo! Bro, I can already imagine how all the tag team cinematic finishes would be like. Even the ones with like single cinematic finishes, like for example, Jotaro's part 3 one could be like Tenmei wo ore wo okoreseta. I mean, he already says that in the original game, but like it would be so cool if it changed depending on who he was facing, which I guess again he already does that. But imagine if they did like their quirky one-liners after the cinematic cut. For example, Jotaro versus Kakyoin, and then he does that whole Sabaku no, like Sabak, that whole speech that he did against Kakyoin. Bro, that shit would be so fucking cool. Sabaku no, ore wa no stand da, stop pressna, and he just goes fucking ham. Bro, and then with Kira Yoshikage, it could be like that whole copy pasta, that Watashi no na wa Kira Yoshikage nende 33 sai. But instead of like that whole speech, it'll just focus on that whole part where Kira Yoshikage talks about like how he doesn't like to get into a conflict, he likes to live a peaceful life. However, if he gets involved in a fight, it's a guaranteed victory. God damn, I need that! I need that! Just, I remember how it felt like playing Storm games with my friends, landing a finisher and not knowing if it was going to be a like KO, a victory finisher, because sometimes those finishers would leave people with like 10 HP. So the deciding factor would be whether or not that mini cinematic was added. Now imagine all of that hype into a victory, but with JoJo. JoJo needs this! At this point, I'm probably expecting a bit too much, but come on. It would be so cool if they added that. I would so love to have a JoJo game that did that. What would be cool as well is if you could do like, choose between like 3 ultimate tag team finishes, or just finishes in general. For example, part 3 Dio would have like 3 ultimates, the Road Roller, the Donut Maker, and then for example, a 3rd finisher unique to the game that hasn't been shown in the anime before. But again, we know that Dio could actually do it, just like how they did it in the Storm 3 game, like Ultimate Ninja Storm 3, Storm 4, just like in the Naruto games. In fact, why don't they already do that? Like having different variations for certain characters. For example, Naruto would have different playable versions of him throughout the entire show, and then each version had their own moveset and costumes. I'm pretty sure Bandai Namco could do that, but then at this point, would it be a remaster? I think at that point it would just be like a remake, so I might be asking for too much. But then again, let's think about it like this: having different finishers for different versions of Jotaro. Jotaro part 3, part 4, and part 6. Different Jotaros, different techniques. Come on, Bandai Namco can do that. It's just, knowing Bandai Namco, they probably won't. And that's what disappoints me so much. That they could literally have 3 different finishers and 3 different movesets for 3 different Jotaros, and yet they won't. And at this point, I'm practically asking for a remaster. Or, these are ideas that I want them to implement into a new JoJo game down the line, unless they decide to make this the final JoJo game where they'll just keep adding DLCs of like part 9 characters, which again, I would be happy for that, but I really do want either a PlayStation 4 version of Heritage of the Future or a new JoJo game where all of these ideas have been implemented. Because quite honestly, I don't think anybody would disagree with what I'm asking for. I think this is something a lot of us could agree on, that these would be very cool features in a JoJo game. But those are my guesses, those are my thoughts. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. And instead of just subscribing, also hit the notification bell. Now be ever wonderful. This has been Biscord signing out. Bye.